Here. Okay, this here. Mic check 1 2 1 2. If you can see me or hear me, help me out and let me know in the comments below. Just making sure this is all squared away. This up here. For some reason, I don't know why. I don't know if y'all experienced this. If you could see me or hear me, if you experience this, every time I use Google Chrome on Facebook, I get locked up, lagged up, jacked up, just doesn't work well. Do you ever experience that on your end? I know we're just warming up here, so there's a few people jumping in. But for those that are with me right now, do you experience that? Awesome. Thank y'all for letting me know. I got everything up here. I see y'all comments. Appreciate it. But I don't know. I don't know what it is with my Google Chrome. I try refreshing the cookies and all that good stuff, and for some reason, it just locks up on me. So, all right, looks like we got a few folks jumping in. We'll give this another minute here. I'm going to do something a little different today because I want to make sure everyone feels 100% cared for when it comes to their questions. And some of the questions are they're frequent. So they're frequent questions. I want to make sure that everyone feels good about what we got since we're already at Wednesday. So I'm going to save some time here to definitely go through those questions one by one. And that should bring a lot of just comfort and clarity around what we're doing together, right? So give this another minute here. All right, so while y'all are chiming in, I've been asking for the last few days, what's your favorite football team? And I've seen a majority of almost all of them, but I know we're missing a few. So if you haven't yet participated in that question, because you're just jumping in for the first time, I'm going to get you up to speed on what you might have missed out on if you've kind of jumped in and out. But definitely share with me where you're tuning in from and your favorite football team, right? Where did you tune in from? Where's your favorite football team? Um, Mine was the Giants for a very long time, and I just shifted over the last 2 years to the Eagles. So if you shifted from one team to another, let me know because I went through a little bit of a guilt phase, but now I'm over it, right? Because it is what it is. So definitely share with me that. Pull this up here. We got some new faces jumping in the mix here. So thank you for jumping in here. I'm just making sure my YouTube is in sync here so I could make sure I answer some of the questions there. I've noticed from time to time some of the YouTube questions are a lot different than the Facebook, which is pretty neat. That helps me a lot to just make sure we get everything to you. So thank you for participating and sharing. Pull this part up here. All right. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so let's get this show on the road. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining me on the 5-day challenge. It's exciting to just see a bunch of new faces, see some of the wins, see some of the amazing questions that have come in. And I want to commit a good portion of the end of our training to get you any answers that you might have not received or you need to move forward. So I'm going to get that for you. Today is sales and prospecting. And right, if you ask me about sales and prospecting 3 years ago, I'd say it's all about the structure, the methodology, the pausing, the keywords, the phrases, the don't let them leave the seat until you get a signature. Like That's what I've been used to growing up in sales. It has changed dramatically. It has changed dramatically. And I'm more excited now, this new wave of sales, which is really just relationship building and just getting to know someone as a human being without even associating a dollar sign or a end result to them. And maybe some of you have been selling like that for a long time, but I'm speaking from personal experiences. And don't judge me for it, but like when I would speak to a business owner or I would speak to somebody that I'm going to potentially do business with, I am thinking ahead of the game on this. Like, where can I take this client? What could this client be like? Because of their type of business and their revenue and their goals. Is this something that I start at, so and so amount and apply so and so effort to it? Or is this more of a beginner and an entry level amount? Right. And again, if you're brand new at selling software, right, or selling marketing services, let me know below. Let me know below. If you've been doing this for, a year, 3 years, 5 years, or decades, please share below as well. And it's important because I'm going to lean on each of you that participate in this on your input. And I'm going to look at this in real time because I just want to make sure I'm not missing out on the audience that's present. The audience that's present is becoming more and more important to me because the replays are great, but those that are engaging in the chat really have shaped what this 5-day challenge has started out and what it is today, right? The comments are, and the feedback has just been superb. So thank you all for that. And there's a lot of new people in the building, and I appreciate you putting yourself out there. Now, because you say you're new at selling software and marketing services, right? Don't judge a book by its cover. It's just you're honest and transparent that you're open to learn just a little bit more, and you're going to just dive in a little bit deeper because you want to, right, know what you don't know yet. So thank you for that. Few of you have been sharing that you've been doing this for a while. Some of you have sold your businesses, getting back in the game. So thank you for that. So we got a jam-packed conversation ahead. I wish we could do like a two-way conversation or like you talk, I talk, but this would literally be like a 10-hour challenge a day. And I don't know how much of an engagement we would have or how long people would stay on, but just throw the comments, the questions, the strategy, the feedback below. If you haven't met Jordan yet, it's your first time or you're returning here. Jordan's a superhero in his own. He works in our community. If you haven't met him yet or haven't seen him in the mix, so we'll chat after the challenge. We'll chat before, and we'll just try to make sure we get everybody what they need. And he's done some additional research on the back end with some of your questions. So you'll see those answers and feedback come your way as well. So let me share my screen here. Let me move this part to the side. I'm going to run through a couple of slides here just because everyone learns a little different. And then we'll jump a little bit into the chat. I'll look at my iPad here at the questions, and I'll get some answers to you. And I'm going to leave enough room where I can get you some questions answered outside of just sales. I want to, if you have a question around day 1 and day 2, feel free to throw that in there as well, and I'll do my best. If I don't answer your question, make sure you jump into the Facebook group 5-day reviews challenge. Jump in that group and throw that question in that group. Because I promise you, there's no question that doesn't get answered in that group. And myself or one of my colleagues will jump right in there. I'm a little behind, but I'm catching up today. Caught up a little bit this morning, but I'm catching up. But we also have some challenge warriors in that group that have just been helpful to me and just helping one another. So y'all know who you are. Thank you for jumping in and helping our new friends. Awesome. So slideshow mode on. Where is the Zoom? Of course. This is minimized, so we got to get this part here. Bear with me, folks. I am not a 100% Mac expert, and I need to read the manual soon. All right, cool. Let me move this part here. Let me share this slideshow mode on like magic. Okay, we're on day 3, sales and prospecting. Tomorrow, fulfillment. Friday, retention ascension, right? So I shared a little bit about my opinion on how sales was, my experience on how I used to do sales. I'm going to share with you a handful of like textbook, but also real life approaches. You got to make them yours, but more importantly, you got to be you. Throw in the chat for me, you got to be you, right? You have to be you. And what I mean by that is take whether it's BNI, Chamber of Commerce, a slide, a series of slides, a series of collaterals, a series of scripts, messaging. You have to make it yours at the end of the day. And what I mean by making it yours is your tonality. And basically, if I read that message and then I call you, right? Or I'm sorry, I read that message and you call me, I can read and hear you basically because it's the similar style, right? So I want to make sure we keep that in mind here on everything I'm going to go over. I don't want you to talk and write the same exact way, right? Depending if that's the type of customer you're working with, you could be super, right, informal, right? If you're too informal, they're going to judge you that you're, this is either a prank or, you're not experienced or professional. But just, the language. Don't put everything in ChatGPT. That's where I'm getting at with this. Don't put everything in ChatGPT, right? Make sure you're keeping it organic in you if you use ChatGPT. I just said it. Feel much better, right? So today we're going to go over identifying qualified candidates, right, for our platform, our feature, our just consulting, our guidance. Want the right people that we can help, that we want to help. Because at the end of the day, you get to choose who you want to work with. You get to choose who you want to work with. And then last, we're going to go, second, we're going to go over understanding the local market dynamics. Again, there's a handful of new people here, so I want to make sure also that you have a little bit of additional context around local, hyper local marketing, working your immediate area, and then stepping outside of that immediate area, and then going online, right? Now, there's a handful of you that have been doing this a long time, right? So you may be an expert at online and new to local, hyper local. You don't have to go all in hyper local. You just have to have a blend because you're going to find there's a lot of pieces of gold in your local areas, right? And then last is prospecting and closing the relationship, right? So again, if you've been working at this and you're almost like you're like, this is not for me. If you feel that this is not for you, before you give it up, before you put it on pause, please just jump on this call, right? Speakwith.us/success. It's a Zoom room. Let them know your chief complaint, your chief, right, roadblock. Let them help you. And if they're unable to help you, or you're unable to get the answer you believe, or you have a tendency to feel like, this is not the right thing, or I know there's more. Jump in the 5-day reviews challenge group, private group. I will help you, or I will get someone behind the scenes that could help you. But there's enough help for everybody, right? So jump in there. If you haven't yet, let me give it a shot. If you've already experienced this, right? Thank you. Thank you for listening and just jumping in, right? If you are just tuning in for the first time and you're not yet on high level, yes, you're going to be able to consume the content I'm going to share. Maybe it reminds you, maybe it inspires you, maybe it just is a whole new concept altogether. Go get your free trial. Go set up an account at this link. Set up your account and use what we're sharing in our platform. You will be amazed. You will be excited and you will step out of your comfort zone. So take advantage of that. And because you're just joining now, we're going to set your account up at no charge as long as you jump on the link after you receive your information, right? And just mention the free account setup. take a screenshot of this and say, look, I was on JB's challenge. He put up a slide that I get a free account set up. If you have any questions or problems with it, let me know and I'll help you get what you need. Awesome. We got the raffle, right? So y'all that have been, just communicating, sharing feedback, right? Just being cool, calm, collective, like the good old chat room days. How many of y'all remember like the AOL chat rooms, the CompuServe chat rooms? Anyone? I don't want to date myself here, right? But if you were in the AOL chat rooms, the CompuServe chat rooms, how about AIM? AIM chat, where you message each other back in the day, MSN chat. Any MIRC, IRC? I just saw you. As I said it, you typed it in. Absolutely. The IRC was the ish. That was a fun time, right? AIM chat, I know. That just brought back some old memories. I got goosebumps thinking about AIM chat. Don't judge me. ICQ is cool too. All right. So at the end of the day, just join the conversation. For gosh sakes, start a conversation. Tag each other. Just like we want this to be an organic community where we can leverage and ask each other for a favor, guidance, help without it being awkward. And that's why we're doing the raffle here. We're going to call the raffle at the end. Jordan's got, and the team has his eyes on it. And then that raffle, you take that gift card and you go to the swag store. Pick up a hat, hoodie, t-shirt. I think it's between $25 and $50, right? So there's some good stuff there, right? Awesome. So let's get into the course here, right? If you have not yet jumped into the university membership course labeled Reviews Challenge Reputation Management Playbook, you're missing out. Now, I have some slides from the course, right? But this is designed to be more of the live strategy, right? Kind of two-way conversation flow here. This is not going to be the full course. You're going to miss out a lot of other important things. So let's get to what I have prepared. So identifying your quality candidates really determines on what your expertise is, right? What do you enjoy? One, why? Right? Why are you getting into this business of helping people with their reputation? Right? And do you have experience, whether it's running a business similar or helping other businesses or being part of a business, that you could share enough value for someone to see that with your insight, experience, and software, you can help them move the needle to success? Right? I look at it from a selfish perspective first as me. What do I want? What do I feel? How can I help? And why do I want to help? And then everything else is just, right, easier. So once you've determined that, I'm just going to go over some examples here. So we essentially want to work with businesses with traffic, right? A billboard with no traffic passing by is just a billboard. A billboard that has tons of traffic is an offer, is a call to action, is powerful, right? So I want you to look at your businesses that you're potentially going to work with on how they do business now and how you can help them streamline their customers to extend their life with the business, right? So if you have a restaurant that's busy, they don't need your marketing. Maybe like, oh man, we have someone does social media, we got our own ads, we handle all that, right? No problem. But I did notice that your reviews are at about a 3.4, below industry standard. I noticed that there's like a half good and then half bad, and it fluctuates. And I don't know if whomever is handling what they're handling is aware of what could be done to make things better. Would you be open to me just kind of sharing a few things with you? No charge. I just want to see if we'll be a good fit. If you're willing to accept my expertise, my knowledge, and then we could do something if you like to work together. Right? And I'll be transparent. My pricing ranges from $197 a month to $5,997 a month. Right? So like there's a big gap, but there's something for always somebody. I just want to make sure we're jiving. Right? So here's what I did. I came unannounced. I'm here unannounced. I called you unannounced. I reached out to you in direct message unannounced. I've put together some details for you to take a look at. I can go over it with you, or we can set up a time later today and I can walk you through it. But the last thing I want to do is put you on guard that what you're going to see might make you upset, and that's not my intent. I just want to show you what you might be walking past and not even realize it. Right? That's all I want to do. Right? And that's my way, and that works for me. You got to find your way, right? How many of y'all joined last week? We had the pleasure of having Frank Kern share his way and his approach and his years of experience on working with businesses with reputation management, right? How many of you joined that event last week, right? Totally different way than what I did, right? But we're in two totally different parts of the world, and we're two totally different types of people. All to say that you could take bits and pieces of everything and make it yours. Make it yours. So if you have any questions around that, I don't want to I don't want to harp on this too much, but it is important because I've found myself from personal experience trying to do and mimic other people's ways in hopes that I get the same result. And it never worked until I found my way. Right? So at the end of the day, businesses are experiencing issues with their reviews, whether they know it or not, whether they decide to take ownership and be aware of it or be in denial and not care about it. You want to work with people that are open to talking to you. So, like, for example, again, another personal story, personal experience. I'd find like the most crappiest businesses, and I try to be like the lifesaver, the business lifesaver. It didn't work, right? Because one, I was chasing the business owner to get back to me. I was trying to convince them that they needed to do this, and then I was, you know, dropping my price if not giving it away for nothing, in hopes that they trust me enough and then we become a bigger customer. None of that works. I'll save you the time. What works is speaking to people that relate to you, you relate to them. They call you back, they have conversations with you, and you build a relationship. You build a relationship. And then by that point, right, it's just, let me show you this, let me show you that. Oh, this is exciting. Hey, did you know this? Did you? And then they start texting you and starting to get to know you. I call that business owner friends. Right? You want business owner friends. I want your phone filled with business owners that beg to get to talk to you and get to know you outside of them reaching out to your business phone line or your team or your AI assistant bot, right? So let's dig a little deeper on this whole relationship and local market and just let's piece this together here, right? And you may be familiar with this already. You may already be ahead of the game on this, but just humor me here and just follow my lead on this because you might learn one or two things extra that you didn't think of. And that's fine. Those help. How many of you have learned one thing, whether it's a techie, whether it's like around email deliverability or something with like your SEO or something with ads? It was just that one little thing that you somehow caught on, whether it was on a YouTube video or in a chat thread in a Facebook group. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't do that. And it worked for you. How many of you have experienced that? I have. And that got me to a point where I was just binging videos and really just taking information and respecting it more because there were so many different missing pieces in my journey that I didn't know until someone shared their story. Right? So I hope that starts to resonate with you and you grab a nugget or two. So when you look at your local market, and here's the thing, you might be in one state, but from another, right? You might be in one state and from another, right? So, I'm originally from New Jersey, right? But now I live in Florida, right? But I travel to New Jersey often because I still have family there. But I live in Florida, right? I don't have to be in New Jersey all the time if I want to bring on a customer. right? I know enough about parts of New Jersey that I know that I could relate to people that are in New Jersey. And then as I relate to them, they know I'm local. And yes, I'm an adult. I travel back and forth, either for work, for this, for that. Like, you're not going to see these people every single day in their store. And if that's what you believe you need to do, then I just want to put it out there. That's not the goal. The goal is if you get to meet them in person, great. If you don't, that's fine. Because we're in new times. We're in Zoom, like we're here. So with that being said, they just want to know they're not dealing with someone that's a robot or a scammer or someone that doesn't know what they're doing. They want to just connect you. So, understanding your local market from your perspective as an expert is knowing, right, the business, but for you, you want to know who the owner is. You're not going to do business with the business. You're doing the transaction with the owner and their credit card. Well, they want to know who you are at your business. So you need to have an online presence that you are aligned with your business. And that's where that local part comes in, both ends, right? If you have any questions about that or you need some clarity on that, on how you and your business need to be right clear that you are part of the business, whether you give yourself a fancy title or you just call yourself the owner, doesn't matter. They just need to know there's a real human being, and that you could then set the expectation that, look, I have a support team, whether it's a handful of AI bots or if it's a VA or your son, daughter, cousin, nephew, niece, brother, sister, wife, husband, doesn't matter. There are marketing agencies and companies that will say, hey, look, we're small, but we're mighty. We're small, but we're mighty, right? The software does most of the heavy lifting. My wife and I, my brother and I, my sister and I, myself with my, small team, we're the experts. But really, once we get you set up, this thing is on autopilot as long as your doors are opening, you're giving great service, and you're following the system. Everything gets cared for easily, right? Awesome. So we want to be able to identify in our local market who are some of the top players, who are some of their competitors based on, right? Just know some of the top names in the area that you're working, right? And when I mean local, maybe you work by county, maybe you work by region, maybe you work by state, right? But anytime you reach out to somebody, you want to know who the alternative is to them, right? And because we're a little bit more of a marketing techie group, y'all see it yourself when you buy something or you look something up. This is the program you're looking for, and this is the alternative. And you can even do a Google search. What's the alternative to this platform or to this service or to this product? Know the alternative, and you can mention that. Now, as you're doing this local connectivity and this networking and this just your in person or your virtual or just your market due diligence, that's where you're going to use the prospecting tool that I went over briefly yesterday to plug in that ideal client you want to work with, right? And then it'll list who their competitors in their area are, and you could reference the alternative from there. So there's a lot of this work done for you. You just have to know where to go. So we'll get into that as we move on here, right? Now, there are some changes that I'll be making to these slides because, when I originally put this together, um, I wanted to just make it as proper and appropriate as possible. But like as I learn more and more and I get all your feedback, like market research is a little bit of an intimidating word, right? Like I don't want you to think when you see market research, I don't want you to think you gotta buy a study or do surveys. Absolutely not, right? We're walking in, our foot in the door is our reputation management, right? Whether it's foot in the door literally or foot in the door in a DM or in a message or by commenting, right? That one feature, right? That one feature does a lot of great things, right? And you could do most of your market research right from your laptop, your tablet, your phone, your computer, your home, you're in your car. But I don't want you to do a bunch of market research on every directory, every site. I want you to pick, let's say, whether it's Yelp or Google My Business or Google Business Profile, whatever it is. Pick one area, but pick an area with authority in your area. Don't go to the yellow pages, right? And say, hey, look, you're this number here in the yellow pages. They're gonna look at you like, who uses the yellow pages? So don't do that, right? Don't go to a local business directory like yellowpages.com or Ask Jeeves or like one of these sites that like they don't go to directly, but they see it there. Just you want to go to Yelp, Google, something big, right? That you can leverage and do a search in that area and just be write a couple names down, copy and paste a couple names down, start to build a talk track around it. Because here's what I want you to do. I don't want you to niche. You don't have to niche into one industry. You just have to be aware of the people in that industry that are in the area you're serving, right? And while you do that, talk to a consistent amount of them back to back. So don't hop around from like the dentist to the roofer to the carpenter to the junk removal to the dumpster guy to the therapist. Like don't do that because your brain's going to explode, right? Do a handful of research in an area, right? Get your story straight, your talk track. Take a couple notes as you're going. I say record yourself while you're doing this so you can hear back what you're saying. Just use a separate record. As long as you can hear back what you're saying, you're good. Right? And just say, like, here's an example. Let's say I call 5 roofers, right? And I go, so-and-so roofing. Hey, Joe around by chance? Nope, he's not here. How can I help? Quick question for you. One, can I leave my name and number for Joe? I was told to give him a quick call. Yeah, sure. What's your name? What's your number? Great. I don't know if this is something you handle, but I was told to give Joe a call because the reviews are horrendous. And I just don't know if anyone's aware of it yet. Um, and I could definitely send you what I was going to chat with Joe with, and then they hang up on you. That's going to happen. I'm just telling you now, it's going to happen. They're going to hang up on you. In your mind, you have the power of information. They're going to hang up on you. It's okay, right? But you just don't give up on that talk track right away, right? But here's what I will say. Ask a question, pause, let them answer, add some personality to it, ask another question, let them answer, laugh a little bit or share, oh my, like just share some emotional disruption. Oh my gosh, you're a lifesaver on this because I'll be honest with you, I thought I was going nuts, right? Or whatever you got to do based on that conversation, it lets them hear that you're a human being, right? And then throw in there, look, the last thing I would do is just show up and catch Joe, not at the office, but could you point me in the right direction here? Would it be okay if I sent you an email or I have an email here for Joe. I just want to loop you in because it sounds like you handle the day to day. Yeah, you definitely. I'm his wife. Oh, great. You're exactly who I was looking to talk to, right? And now you're finding your flow and you just want a two-way conversation. Now, I don't want the chat to blow up here and people to start to say, "Oh my goodness, I have to start making cold calls." No, you don't. You don't have to start making cold calls, but you got to start contacting people and you got to start getting ready to get rejected, right? So just be prepared. However, if it's text, if it's email, whatever it is, you got to just reach out to people and disrupt a little bit of what they're normally used to. And we'll get more into that as we go here. But I share that because every opportunity you have to practice helps. You don't have to become an expert at this in order to make it work. You just got to talk. You just got to talk to people, right? And as you start to talk to people, this sense of swag, confidence, relatability, excitement, just like a little maybe on the edge, you just start to like kind of fit into it and find your mojo, your flow, like your style. And just the conversations become easier. Just a psychological thing. It's just a how the brain's powerful. So I'm not going to try to explain that. But if you know what I mean, let me know below. If you know what I'm saying, if you've had that moment where you were reading a script or you were reading something from a book and you've mentioned it or shared it enough that like you really believe what you read and you feel good about it and you've added some more depth to it. You've added some examples to it, right? You've made it relatable to somebody else that maybe didn't read what you read and what you now know, right? I was speaking to one of my colleagues, awesome guy, and he says sometimes you got to use parables, man. You got to use parables. You have to you have to have a blend of storytelling. You have to have a blend of listening, talking, but also guiding without it being product or feature driven. It's got to be a little bit of blend of emotion, but also excitement, but not too much excitement, right? I get overly excited with stuff, but I'm naturally excited. And sometimes folks will be like, man, this guy's too excited, right? But when you see something and you know something, you get pumped up about it. Everyone has their own way. So you'll find your flow, but you got to identify it. Because if you don't identify your flow, you're not going to identify who you're most relatable with, and then you're going to have a hard time making phone calls, doing emails, stopping by in person. So I'll give you an example. There was a leader in my previous corporate role that was doing this for a long time. He was a big door-to-door guy, and we had a meeting once, a regional meeting. Says, "Hey man, let's go for a ride along." So I'm like, "All right, let's go. No big deal." Go for a ride along. He goes, "How do you find out who's who here?" I go, "I just walk in and ask." He goes, "Okay, obviously. How else do you find out who's here?" I go on Google. I'll go on to Better Business Bureau. I'll type in the business name. I'll put in parentheses name, and it'll pull up the name of their business and who's the registered owner. I go, "Okay, that's great." He goes, "Watch how I do it." And I'm thinking, all right, what's this guy going to teach me? Right? Because I know I'm not the only one who thinks sometimes they found the full recipe here, right? So I said, all right, let's show me what you got. Like I could always learn something new. So we go into the first business. He goes, "Forgive me, just walking in here. Are you guys brand new? Have you been around for a while? I'm new to the area." "Oh no, we've been around for 15 years." "Oh wow. Place looks like it just opened up. Awesome. Sorry to be so rude. I'm so and so. What was your name?" "I'm Jane." "Jane, pleasure. This is John." Hey, Jane, how are you?" "Jane, quick question. In this shopping plaza, is it typically busy?" It's been kind of slow and we lost some big tenants." "Oh, okay. When is it usually where the parking lot you can't walk?" "Oh, it hasn't been like that in a while." "Oh, how are the holidays?" "They've been a little slow." "Oh, okay. Thank you for that. Jane, how are things going with your business?" "Well, why do you ask?" "Forgive me." And then he started getting into like that whole flow of like, this is what I do. I help local businesses. I help them with this. Just giving his story, his 30-second pitch. She goes, "Oh, I'm not ready to buy anything. I'm not ready to buy. I don't want to buy anything. We're actually going to be closing down soon." "Why?" "It's just been really slow." So, I want to just highlight here that they started having a conversation, right? So even though he shared what he does, she got defensive. There was an emotion like, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. Why?" And she shared. And fast forward in this conversation, it became, "Well, this is what I want to do for you. It sounds like you're missing of these things. Would you be okay if I had John spend some time with you tomorrow or Thursday, show you a few things, and more than happy to give you something complimentary to help you while you determine what you're going to do next in your business. And in return, would you be more than kind to let me know who I should ask for next door? And if you know anybody else in the shopping plaza by first name, I don't want to just walk in randomly. And would it be okay if I mentioned that I spoke with you today?" So she says, yeah, next door is Jane, Mike, Joe, Francis. Like, she just went on and on. I'm like, all right, is this choreographed? Like, what are we doing here? Fast forward, this gentleman walks out. There's a mailman that's putting in the mail in the shopping plaza. He goes, hey, you've probably been delivering mail here for over a decade, right? Oh, yeah, this is my route for years. Quick question. Is next door still owned by so-and-so? Yeah, they're all there still. Awesome. Thank you so much. What was your name? He gave the name. So I follow this guy. I'm like, all right, well, where are we getting at here? Because I'm not going to do this every day. This is a little too much. Walk in, he goes, hey, how are you? So-and-so by chance? They go, yeah, how'd you know? Positive attitude. Yeah, how'd you know? Right? That's like a Mickey Mouse voice. So I don't know where that came from. But lady says, hey, how'd you know? He then goes, I spoke with so-and-so next door. They said you definitely would be here. You've been here forever too. Yeah, super nice. And I also met with so-and-so, the mailman. He also, wow, you guys have a really tight community here. Awesome. So-and-so, can I ask you a quick question? From what I've heard and what I'm seeing, things aren't the way they used to be like they were years ago. Parking lot's a little empty, this, that, the other. Is that also the same for you? Oh my goodness. After so-and-so tenant left, the place went down. What was that tenant's name? They go, so-and-so Jim, right? So usually like there's that anchor business, whether it's a big store, a shop, a big mall, or a gym, where there's just a lot of traffic, right? So these people were feeling the heat from it. Long story short, right? And this is an example of a beta. He set up a beta with me to meet all these people for 40 minutes the following week, showed them a feature of where I was working at that time, got them set up on a trial version of it. At that point, became closer to them. Out of the 7 or 8, 3 signed up, ended up staying, running, moving and grooving. They started referring me to their family and friends and their network, right? And it was just kind of amazing to see because I'm like, I didn't expect this to come out of this. Until this day, I'll get a random phone call from them and say, hey, what's new? Or what new tech is out? Or what should I be aware of? Now, these customers at that time were in their late 40s. This is over like 7, 8 years ago, right? In their late 40s and 50s at the time. They didn't know technology. They weren't on Facebook looking at ads. They weren't taking trials online. They weren't signing up for widgets because they were curious. These people were running their business and trying to save their business. So what I want to share with you that the difference with the local market is that the local market isn't always binging on online content and signing up for trial subscriptions, maybe like we do. They're just trying to figure out what they need to do locally. And a handful of them actually go door to door, leaving business cards, flyers, peppering parking lots with their flyers on windshields, right? So I just want you to just be open-minded around this local marketing approach that I'm sharing with you. And why, yes, businesses that are online, e-commerce stores, people that are in Facebook groups, that are on other social media platforms, they're all great, right? Because they understand that online is important, obviously. But what about those that aren't on online? How many times have you come across a business that doesn't have a Google business profile? Right? How many times? Got to be more than once. Because not everybody runs to set up their Google business profile. So I just want you to have that mindset. And I say that to then move to this. As you're out and about with the family, the friends, yourself, trying a restaurant, strike a conversation. You're not going to always hit the jackpot where you're talking to the owner. But out of curiosity, ask, what's the owner's name? Because this place is amazing. And I would love to write a review about it. Right? And you may find out it's a franchise, or you may find out it's corporate, whatever it is. But it doesn't hurt to ask. You have to be the conversation starter, right? So this also applies to expanding your reach and your conversations beyond the keyboard. beyond those that you know or you believe that would be the best choice for you. And that's leveraging community networking events, right? Attending local business events, joining meetups, going to trade shows every so often, right? A lot of trade shows are free. And if you have a trade show or you don't know much about them, or you've never done business events, you don't know much about it, didn't even know what meetups really entail, ask me. Join our private Facebook group, 5-Day Reviews Challenge, and take a screenshot of this and ask the question. John, you mentioned this. Could you elaborate? I'm located here, and this is what I want to do. How do I apply this? Right? The nearest town to me is about 30 miles away, 2 hours away. Right? Not everybody lives in a busy area. Right? I get it. So with that in mind, attending these events, you start to build in-person relationships. And I just want you to keep one thing in mind. As you meet people, and you may know this already, this is probably, I'm preaching here, right? But if you don't know it or you didn't look at it this way, maybe that's where the value comes in. But don't look at the person you're speaking to as your potential customer. Look at them as your advocate or your best referral partner. Look at them as your best referral partner to introduce you to others. Because if you're like me or I'm like you, I sometimes make recommendations to people and things that I've never used personally or never used more than once, but I know their reputation is stellar because of their reviews, their branding, what I've witnessed, what I've heard. Well, that same applies to our business too, especially if you've positioned yourself as a small, team that is helping small businesses. Because here's the thing. There's a play for the big guys and the big gals that are huge $100 million companies, right? They got unlimited marketing budgets. There's a play for them. There's an audience for them. But we don't want that audience. We want the audience that wants someone they can trust, know, like, and be there to help them and keep their promise. Not just sign them up for a long-term contract. Not just charge them month over month for nothing. You come in, we get results. Right? So be bullish about that. Yeah, of course. That company's everywhere. But their customers, right? Their customers are bigger companies too. I work with small to medium-sized local companies because they trust me locally. Let me show you some reviews, right? That's where you name drop a little bit. So, John, how and where do I start? I'll give you some areas to start jumping into. Let me pause here real quick. Comment below if one, you're understanding where I'm coming from with this strategy. If maybe you've tried it. If maybe you've tried and it didn't work. If maybe you tried and it worked a little bit, but you couldn't do it often. Maybe it's something you thought about, you wanted to do, but you haven't really done it yet for whatever reason. Let me know below. So far, right? The networking events, right? Understanding who your market is, just what I've gone over here. Just going to pull something up here while y'all are doing, we'll get some temperature check here, just making sure this is aligning with what you need. This is all about you, y'all. So I want to make sure this is aligning with what you need. Yeah. All right. So I want to do BNI. I want to get involved. I'm open to it. So I'm going to use you. I'm going to position here as example. Where are you from? What area are you from? Right. Strategy makes sense. Cool. Some people are going to be using email. Fine. Perfect. All right. So let's say you want to do a BNI event in your area. I want you to go on Google. I want you to type in BNI. Right. So in this case, BNI Groups Atlanta. So you type in Google BNI Groups in Atlanta. Let's do this. Let's do this here real quick. Let's Let me pull this up here. Let me go here. I'm gonna do, where is groups in Atlanta? Right? So this is where I'm starting. I'm gonna go right here, bniatl.com. I'm gonna find a chapter. And there's a bunch of questions that people ask, and these are all opinion based. That's fine. Right? Don't let the annual fee scare you away. Don't let the time scare you away. Just show up to one and just go from there. Just take the first action. Right? So, sometimes they don't make this easy to navigate because people spam. There's a lot of spammers out there. They grab the list and they start blasting it. So, right, to protect the members, they sometimes make it a little hard to find it, but I found this one pretty easily. Right? So for a gentleman here that shared where he was from, Atlanta, here are the chapters in Atlanta. Right? These are the times. If you're early bird, mid-morning, late morning, you got options here. Right? The nice thing with this, I think, is the rules change often, but you could join as a guest. I think it's up to like 2 or 3 times. Might have changed. There's some exceptions and stuff. But I want when you go to a group, I want you to go one a little further away from where you're at, and then I want you to go to one that you probably attend because it's closer, right? And as you do that, and again, all of these have different fees, and right, there's just this is a business model, right? Let's not put this that this is not charity. So, right, just like a country club, a golf club, sports center, like you got to pay a membership, right? So, but you got to pay to play. You got to invest to grow strategically. You make that decision. But let's just start with how to get it started. So right here, Thursday, 7:30 a.m. This is in person. This is hybrid in person and virtual. This is permanent online. So it tells you. But we go here, pull this up, right? Gives you a handful of information. And here we go. So we have the chapter leadership, right? The shares, who's who. You get an idea of who's there. Now, this group may not accept you because they have somebody in your category already. So it's category exclusive. And there is a chance that it's also like subcategory exclusive too. So like, marketing is not just a category. It's social media management, printing, all these things. So, there's a bunch of information here. You'll have an idea, right? And now you understand who's there. And there's 34 members. And each member typically is asked to bring one guest a week. Or they have guest day. So you're getting exposed to new people. So here's what I want you to think and know. And I don't think I ever, let me just make sure I shared my screen here. I never shared my screen. That's crazy. Sorry about that. Thank you. Here we go. We'll do a rewind. I was looking at myself and said, where's my screen? Go on Google, type it here, find a chapter, clicked it, right? This popped up, did a little bit of reading, chapter list, right? Look at the chapter names, the areas, right? Like I shared in person, hybrid, permanent, right? I picked the first one. First one opened up this one. Scroll down a little bit, 34 members. They meet 7:30 in the morning in person at Jennings Mills Country Club. Right? Gives you instructions on how to sign up to be a guest. Right? A couple folks jumped in. Yep, there's, every group's a little different. We got the leadership, we got the members. Right? So we have an idea. Right? But here's the takeaway. You're probably not going to get business from these people. Let me just be from personal experience, you're probably not going to get business from these people. But these people become your allies and your referral partners. And who knows, if you bring enough value when you do your monthly presentation or you do enough one-to-ones, because the whole strategy around these networking events is one-to-ones, right? Hey, let's do a one-to-one, Chris. Hey, let's do a one-to-one, Clow. Hey, Ron, one-to-one tomorrow? Hey, Ben, one-to-one? Pedro, one-to-one? Natalie, one-to-one? All right, Now your whole calendar is filled with one-to-ones. One-to-ones typically about 30 minutes. Sometimes they go over. So I got twice a week, I got a one-to-one, right? I got 6 or 7 or 8 of them a month. That's 8 new people I've made relationships with, 8 new people I'm part of their Facebook groups or their text threads, or they're asking me questions. I'm doing them a favor. They're doing me like, we're making relationships here. And then now we get 3 new guests that come in. I help out the guests. They end up becoming members. Now somebody says to me, "Hey, John, would you like to be a guest at our another chapter? Because so and so won't be there." Now I go to another chapter at no cost on a different day, make relationships there. I got like 10 one-to-ones. So if you're going to spend a three, five, or $1,000, whatever it is for whatever group, the strategy around networking is one-to-one, understanding their story, what they do, how you can help them, and then staying in contact. And you have to be the conversation starter and the one to follow up. Now, it might take time that they start to pick up on their end, but then you have to make a decision. Is this even worth it? That's up to you, right? Any questions about that? Share below. Share below. And again, I'm going to share here. I'm going to do another one, right? Because this one was just too easy. So I'm going to just do another one here. Somebody had mentioned Houston, Texas. So I'll go BNI, Houston, Texas. Right? Popped up. BNI, Houston, West. All right. Let's see here. I'm looking for the chapter list. See, they didn't make this one easy here. Usually it has like the chapter list right there. This one doesn't. All right, what do I got to do here? Let's do a little reading. Okay. It's gonna. This one's not easy, folks, but that's fine. There's alternatives. We'll go find a meeting. Let's see. There we go. Got it. Think I got it. West chapter directory. See, these buttons throw me off because it looks like it's just regular highlighted text. Okay, I found it. Took a little bit of a while, but patience is king. Queen, everything in between. We're in. We're in, we're in, we're in. Houston, Texas, we're coming to Houston. Load the bus. We're going networking. Here we go. So again, same concept like Atlanta, right? Hot Atlanta, hot Houston. I don't know if that's the case, but you know what I mean. But some of these have cool names to them, right? But again, what we want to look at, right? This might catch your attention, but you want to look at the time because you have to commit to this date and time. Every Wednesday, 7:30 a.m. If you're not going to commit, they will boot you out. They'll boot you out. So you got to be able to show up. I think there's like a tardy whole process to this. This is serious. All in person, right? Not from your phone, not virtual. It's in person, right? So let's just go here. Let's go to this one. 22 members. All right. I also want to show you. Let's go to another one. Just clicked out of here trying to be slick. We'll just stick on this one. Leadership, right? These are the key players that run it. Typically, so like there's a lot of smart business people, like they get it, right? This one owns an insurance company, this one's a bookkeeper, right? Like they're getting around their ideal client by serving their ideal client. Let me be in the same room as my ideal clients and serve them so I naturally attract through reciprocity business. Because they're going to do business with somebody. You need insurance, you need a bookkeeper. Right? So this is the leadership here. Great. Hit the members. This is the members. Right? Before you form an opinion, again, they're not going to buy anything from you. They're just going to learn about you. You're going to have a handful of one-to-ones, and they're going to be your referral partners. And they're going to open up, maybe like Matt and Joe and Jane. They're networking, 100% networking people. And they go to networking events everywhere. And if you're in their corner and you're in their network, A lot of these people have like business card holders they bring with them. Oh, you got to talk to this one. You're in good hands, right? Got a good relationship. And again, it's reciprocity. So what you give is also what you almost, not all the time, what you hope to get in return. Give good energy, you expect and hope you get good energy back. Give referrals, you hope you get them back. But it doesn't go for like, hey, for this, you give me that. That won't work, right? So any questions on this? And a few of you got to jump, right, to the day job, got to get ready for what you're doing. You got client meetings. I get it. The replays are going to be in the Facebook group or on YouTube. You jump in and just catch up where you left off. Just catch up where you left off, right? Awesome. So let me get moving here. I hope that was helpful. You know, every meeting I try to go a little bit in depth on something so this not, if I get folks at return, right, just to stay up to speed and fresh or just curious, I don't want it to be the same repeat. It's the reason why we don't record this stuff and just play it over and over. It's live for a reason, right? So let me get this moving here. Same applies to LaTip, Happy Networking Project, meetup.com. Like Happy Networking Project, great group of people, HNP.com. They have set times. They do it by state, in the country, out of the country. Different setup than BNI. LaTip, great group of people. LaTip is the alternative to BNI. BNI is the alternative to LaTip. Similar business model, similar standards. Some people might leave this to go there because they want different people or they move and there's not a chapter. So you got options. And there's still a whole bunch more. There's still a whole bunch more, right? And I've seen in the community, there's a lot of great people doing a lot of great things. I mean, people are hosting pop-up high-level events. They're hosting small business education events. They're hosting online mastermind style events, all from our community, SaaSpreneurs, high levelers doing this. So awesome. Pumps me up. So I can't touch on all this because you guys are going to end up changing the television channel here. And I don't want that, right? Local chambers, here's the secret sauce from personal experience. Look at their events in the area, put them on your calendar. You should sign up for them. Here's why. You should sign up for the event because you're going to get the emails, you're going to get the updates, right? You're going to make your name known. Listen, if you think that people don't look up your email or your name to Google you, then you are in the wrong business, right? They're looking you up and you may get a phone call. Hey, I saw you signed up. We would love to have you. As a matter of fact, would you be open to speaking? I saw in your profile, you do a lot of lectures. You do a lot of trainings. We're actually in need of a speaker for this event. How many of you enjoy speaking and teaching? Throw it in the chat. How many of you enjoy speaking and teaching? You couldn't cover my mouth with cement to stop me from talking. Are you similar? Right? Because we've just got value. We want to give value. We want to just share. We enjoy it. Right? So if you enjoy speaking, you enjoy teaching, put yourself out there, make it known that that's what you enjoy doing. Because here's what I want you to keep in mind. You go to a Chamber of Commerce event, the minute you walk away, they're Googling you, if they're interested in you. The minute you sign up for an event, they're Googling you. Because they want to know if you're a right fit. You meet somebody, you share your digital business card. They're clicking your social media profile. So make sure your social media profile is up to snuff. Make sure the story you're sharing by design is you sharing what you want to be known for. We can go a little bit more in depth as we move on, but chamber events, jot the events down, sign up for them, put them on your calendar. Industry associations, the Painters Association, Martial Arts Association, whatever different types of associations, right? Sometimes they will require a membership, a sponsorship. It's a little bit more in depth. This is the long game, but it's worth it if you can commit to it, right? It's worth it if you can commit to it, right? And there's just something it's something you put in the back pocket and you let it mature after you go to understand the process. right? But there are like, for example, painting associations, there's different groups in a state. They do trainings, they ask for speakers, they do spotlights, they do all these different elements. If you want to go for that niche or you want to work with those people more often, that's a great way to get in the door. Plumbers Association, whatever it is, right? And then they typically have like trade shows. So, right, trade shows, I'll get to that in a minute. Business networking events, typically found on Facebook groups, the town groups. Typically, there's flyers. Typically found in a Facebook events section. So, you know, on the events tab in Facebook, there's a bunch of events. They'll have them there. Typically found like on a website like eventbrite.com. Thing is that with Eventbrite, sometimes it's just I don't know. I've been to events at Eventbrite. I paid a fee, and then it was like a hard. It just didn't work out. My personal experience. But I want. So here's what I look for, and this is kind of what I'm sharing with you. I want to know who the people are behind the event. I want to know who the people are behind the event. Are they like me? Can I relate to them? Or are they an AI bot, or are they from another part of the world and they're not even local? They're just going to take my $10 and run. I want to know who's going to be there to an extent. I don't want the registration list. I just want to know if I go to do some due diligence, it's a real event that's worth my time, right? So the people part is more important than ever. Flesh is king. You should definitely put yourself out there, right? So we're going to move over to trade shows. Um, these are great to learn. This is great to understand what's out and about, especially if you're in, like, let's say, home improvement. If you're, chiropractor event, if you're, just any type of, usually trade shows are around a particular trade or industry, right? Or maybe like there's a tech show, right? But you expect to go there to learn and expect to go there to look for who you want to network with. Here's what I mean by that. The people at the booth are typically event personnel, salespeople, people that for a living, they go to events, they meet people, they network, they collect information, and they walk them through the customer journey. Hey, how can I help you? And they build relationships, right? The owners and the people that make those decisions are typically organizing for the next event or spot checking or walking through. They're not behind the table. That changes when you go to a smaller event that might call themselves a trade show, right? But they're not really a full-fledged trade show, right? So you got to kind of know where you're at and who's going to be there. Um, but where the sweet spot to the trade show is that, like, for example, there's like the Small Business Expo. It's a trade show, considered a trade show. People spend a premium to set up a table. They bring heavy equipment and, big setups. Like, we do a lot of trade shows. We also do a lot of masterminds. We also do a lot of educational events that we attend and sponsor, but also we host. So there's different avenues, right? But what's nice about those shows that if you come across like at a Small Business Expo, they have like your hour of networking, your speed networking. They also have the right. They have tags that identify like, hey, I'm John. Where are you from? Oh, awesome. And a quick question. I saw that you're in this industry. Nice to meet you. What do you do? Right? And you go from there. But you got to be the initiator. You got to start the conversation, right? And again, you have like professional development, like the SBDC, Small Business Development Center, the SBA, Small Business Association. Like there's these different organizations that host these events. Those events typically aren't geared around networking, but you can meet good people, but also get your own education as you're moving and grooving. And then universities have some alumni events and a handful of other things, right? So you will learn. You can't do it all. Don't try. I've tried. Doesn't work. Find one, get really good at it. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Get good at this, right? Listening, talking, taking notes, being familiar, know your craft, know your industry, know their business, know their potential outcomes. And then you shake hands, add them to your phone, and you got a new business owner friend. And then you could say, hey, I'm hosting a webinar. Or, hey, I want to offer you a free trial. We didn't get to go in depth. Or, hey, I follow you on Facebook now. Great to catch up. What other events are you going to? Like leverage, relationships, enjoy, right? Cool. How we feeling? How we feeling? Let me know in the comments below. How we feeling here? Right? And again, I know a handful are going to say like, look, man, John, I'm not going to in-person events. I'm looking to do this faceless. I'm looking to do this behind the scenes. Well, yes, you can. But you're just going to leverage webinars, some paid ads, maybe some cold email marketing, right? So if you got questions about that, jot them down, throw them in the chat below. And if you don't get an immediate answer or an in-depth answer, whether it's from me or one of our attendees or someone who wants to share value, jump in the Facebook group 5-day reviews challenge and throw it in there. And I got you. I'll get you everything you need, right? Because there's a way for everything, right? I just don't want to throw everything at y'all because it's like, well, where do I start, right? In the chat below, let me know where you're from. Where are you at? Or, if you want to share, the state you're in, the city, state you're in, I'm okay with it. I just want to get an idea, right? Because, me personally, I've cold call Utah. That never works for me. I've cold called California. That never works for me. I cold call the Northeast. I want to go visit these people and go out for a drink and hang out. We just jive, right? So, I mean, for me, like the Northeast works good. If I go Midwest, West, I don't win. But that's just me. Everyone's a little different. And again, it's us. Like we want to attract. It's not always who we want to attract. It's also who's attracted to us. So, just keep these things in mind. Don't let this beat you up. Don't let this discourage you. I've gotten more no's than yes, and then I went through a period where I got more yeses than I can handle. Most of my yeses were from networking events and from referrals. I got so excited about networking events, I would start my own and do my own. And I would have 100 people show up to 600 people show up to my local events. So I would partner, like one time when I was in Jersey, I partnered with a big nightclub. They had like an outside part with a bunch of vendors. And I had some dunk tanks come in. I let everybody get a table, like a business table. I strategically picked businesses, right? And then I got some businesses that like sold stuff. So it was like a mini flea market, but also like an information center, right? They all raved about me personally as, this guy's great, he's fun, he's cool, great business, he's really smart, right? They were my advocates because I got to know them. And then I had people, like I had tons of customers, and I worked for a bigger company then that I was selling and getting a commission from it. So imagine you own your own software and your own business. You keep 100. Okay, let me re-say this. I would do these events and I would be a salary and a commission employee for a software company. And I would have 100 to 600 people show up. I'd set it up where there's tables, right? I strategically did it. And I would have people talk nicely about me, right? Refer me to someone else. And I would have customers waiting to sign up with me. And I did not have to ever knock on a door or go chase phone calls with people. I had more than I can handle, to the point where I was giving it to my colleagues that helped me. That was when I worked for somebody. Imagine that you have your own software license and you keep 100% of the revenue. And you either pay $97, $297, or $497 for the license. And you just sign people up for $197, $297, or $497 per person. So if you meet 5 people and then 5 people refer you to 5 more people, let's say you got a bucket of 25 people, your average price is real simple, $197 a month, right? That's $4,925 if everyone said yes. Let's say 35% of the people said yes. That's $1,723.75 USD monthly recurring revenue. MRR. You might be new to it. People pay you like a utility bill, like you pay your light bill, your water bill, your rent, your mortgage. They pay your software $197 per month. You have now 35% of your customers. You have $1,723 coming in each month. For the course of 6 months, you've collected $10,342. Now, each of those people give you a referral. Like, I don't need to keep doing the math. You guys know what I mean, right? Meet people, get referrals, be creative, give a good outline of what you're offering, walk them through a process, sign them up. They'll stay sticky, right? And then you do trainings like I'm doing with you here. You become their business development team and help them. And then you bring on channel partners. Bring on other people that want to do this as a side hustle, or maybe they're a bookkeeper, maybe they're a coach, maybe they're techie, right? But they don't have sales skills, or they're sales, but they don't have techie, or they don't know what you have or how it goes. Not everybody knows about what we're doing here, folks. We're still early stages. Not everybody knows what you have, right? So get out there, get to the incubators, get to the masterminds, meet people in different categories outside of marketing, and you could have channel partners that sell this with you. I got friends that are experts in their industry and don't want nothing to do with tech, right? And they know people that are good at it. They just refer them out. Hey, you got to talk to my buddy that does this. Oh, you need a detailer? Go to him. You need a great so-and-so? Go to her. Be the option, right? So this is how you find the networking events. Take a screenshot. Take a screenshot, and this is how you get there. Ain't no secrets here, folks. You just got to take action, right? So y'all have what you need. I'm hoping I'm giving enough color. I'm hoping my enthusiasm doesn't make you feel that this is too good to be true. I'm hoping that I'm relating to what you're looking to do. But at the end of the day, I just want to get off this call and know I gave you actionable items that you could do on your own to meet somebody and then go from there, right? Dream 100, Dream 25, 10 people on your phone, right? Let's start with who we know, right? Let's do it all. Let's do a little bit of cold outreach, do a little bit of people from our phone. Let's do people from Facebook groups that we're part of. Let's just plant seeds, right? For my gardeners that are out there, whether you're gardening, flowers, for those that are, putting in, some peppers, tomatoes, cilantro, whatever you plant. Even you go outside out of curiosity. I'm not gonna speak for all of you, but I know I do for sure. And see if anything grew. Even though you planted it maybe 12 hours ago, you still go outside and say, anything grow yet? Nothing happens overnight. So plant those seeds and give them time to grow before you give up on it, right? As you build this Dream 100 list, or just a small list of people that you know or you have proximity to, right? Maybe you get that list generated from your phone. Maybe you get that list generated from your Instagram, from your LinkedIn, from your Facebook. Here's what I will say. Go through your social media friends lists on your profiles. I'm telling you, I've done it recently. I'm like, I forgot I was connected to this person. I forgot this person, was around because you don't always see what everybody that you follow is posting. Because the algorithm, I don't got to teach you. You know how the algorithm works, right? Whose profile you go to, who you comment, who's got similar, right? It does all that good stuff. So you're not getting everyone that you follows, updates. But I will say this, the format of the Dream 100 has a great concept to it, right? Familiar people typically will listen to you, but they will humor you and not try to hurt your feelings, or maybe they'll tell you straight up. Don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged, right? And do a little research before you just randomly reach out. And work at it respectfully, right? So, just send a few, hey, so and so saw your Facebook post. Hey, so and so saw that. Like, just relate it to something so they don't think you just are trying to sell them, candies or some sort of timeshare or something. Because we've all been through it. Like someone gets into a new business or they start real estate. Like, hey, have you ever thought about selling your home? Or hey, I just worked here. Do you want to buy pallets of this? No. Click. So just be respectful of that and just, there's many different strategies, but think of it. Here's what I'd say. What if it was you? How would you want to be approached? And and just go with that, right? But you want to make sure that they're easy to communicate with, right? Like, do they have a chat on their website? Do they even have a website? Are they even listed on Google? Before you get into like all this SEO and are they doing ads or they don't have pixels installed, or just start with the super basic. Super basic. Things that you could easily press a button and get fixed. Start with that. That's typically what's overlooked. And within high level, right? We're going to eat our own dog food here. Within high level, you best believe you're going to have to set up your sales pipeline. You best believe that you're going to have to put your contacts in as a contact in there. You best believe that you should be texting and emailing from there at some point. Maybe you start with your phone, but you're going to transition into maybe a newsletter. Add them to your newsletter. Add them to your upcoming events. But you got to use high level from your app on your phone or the web on your computer. You got to just use it. Don't let these people sit on your phone and you never follow back up. There's sales pipelines and opportunities within high level are so key in organizing, right? And I know I got a few people here that are, watching from a distance. If you use sales pipelines and opportunities, let me know below, right? Share a story. Share something, please. I think it's so key. We miss the basics because we think that since it's so basic, it ain't going to work. Wrong answer. Want to make genuine connections. We want to stay in contact. We want to develop and grow and keep them informed. So people that don't see your emails, they don't know that you're doing anything, they don't see your social media posts, they think you're doing nothing. Now, I'm the type where I don't post every vacation I'm on. I'm the type that I don't post everywhere I eat. I pick and choose here and there, right? There's many like me, and there's many even that don't even post anything. But in your role as a digital marketing expert, as a brand ambassador, as a reputation management expert, as somebody in the marketing digital landscape, digital citizen, you gotta put yourself out there. You have to. Because if you don't put yourself out there, how are you gonna put me in my business? Right? So you have some modern prospecting tools to support what I'm going over. If you got questions about this, throw them in the chat and jump in our Facebook group and put me to work. I'm inviting you. John, I got 5 questions. I'm going to put them out here, right? I'm here to help you, and I don't know everything, but I'm going to tell you, I'll get you the answer from the expert that does know it. right? How many of you are part of the 5-Day Reviews Challenge Facebook group that's tuned in? Comment below. And if you're not, in a moment here, Jordan will be putting in the group, putting the link to the group on Facebook and YouTube so you could join in there. Now, keep in mind, you got to fill in all the fields. So that's just your name, your agency ID, right? Your email. You got to put that in or it's going to deny you because we can't have everybody just randomly jump in. There'll be more spam than anything, but irrelevant, conversations too, right? Because I'm the type, I just join every Facebook group. I just join them all. I don't know. FOMO. I don't want to miss out on anything. So I just join them all. We don't want that for our group, right? So let's get into what hopefully most of you have hoped we get into at some point. And I'm just going to call it out from previous experiences. John, thank you for the information, but I'm not going to go door to door. Okay. John, thank you for the information, but I'm not going to networking groups. Okay. John, let's talk social media. Let's talk digital, right? Because without you getting into your story, here's what the obvious is that's out there. There are people that are doing this faceless side hustle. There are people that are doing this for extra income for their business, right? And can't afford to not work their full-time job, right? Because they don't have the sustainability or they don't have the resources to fully commit all in at the moment. There are a handful of people here that have a professional services style agency that they want to get into a software agency or they want to blend both, right? There are people in here that are in sales. They work for a organization doing sales and they know they can do it on their own, but they need some time. They need some experience. They need some wins under their belt, right? So that's a few. And then there's people that can't travel, right? Health reasons, right? Personal preference. I don't need to go further. I understand. So I'm going to touch on social media, right? But here's the biggest thing to keep in mind with social media and just online. You got to take a little bit more punches if you don't do the following things. If you don't build a brand for yourself online, and that could be a newsletter, that could be posting 3 times a week, that could be recorded sessions, or just bringing human value to other humans from you to them, and using your business as a part of it, like saying, "Hey, like this is my business, and I teach as well to help people." Right? Until you really master that, and there's a lot of clues out there, a lot of great people that are doing it. And if you don't know where to start, here's what I ask you to do. If you see someone that's got a lot of posts or comments or likes, like go click on their profile and just see what's public. Jump on Facebook. Jump on YouTube, type in a topic and see who's got a lot of views. And then Google their name. They definitely have some sort of business. They definitely have some sort of social presence. Maybe they're not on Facebook. They're more of a Instagram, or maybe they're more of a TikTok, or maybe they're heavily on LinkedIn. Look for the clues, then develop your own brand. Don't try to just copy and paste what they do, because here's what you don't know. There's a lot of pre-work that they did to get where they're at. You just want to know that what you're doing has a little bit of a proven model because you see the result of it, right? And in a world of buying likes, buying views, fake followers, bots, pods where people just comment to show each other support. Ain't nothing wrong with any of that, right? If you're looking to build up, I get it. That's your personal preference. But don't expect to have these enhancements and get the result you want without a true audience. The goal here is a true audience. You want your true audience, right? So now with that being said, let's reverse engineer that. Let's make sure we pick one profile, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, that is our core profile. There doesn't go a day that we don't engage, respond to messages, have meaningful conversations, and we comment on other people's profiles. We show support, right? There's not a day that goes by we don't do that. We commit at least 1 hour, 2 times a day. 1 hour in the morning, afternoon, 1 hour in the evening, late night. Have to. because the audience is wide and the times vary. And we need to understand what our offer is. What is our offer from an education and then from a solution? Education, solution, right? Because I promise you, as you educate, people say, well, what do you sell? What do you do? Bring them together, right? So if that doesn't help, there's a lot more where that came from. I didn't make this up. I caught the clues and I learned as I went, as I moved along like you did. But here's the thing, consistency is key. So let's get into the content I have here, right? I just want to level with y'all here so you don't think I'm just reading off of slides and, we're just kind of going off of business. Like, no, these comments are sparking different approaches for all the right reasons, right? So thank you all for just sharing it. And again, you do not have to go by niche, right? You don't have to go by niche. I would look at it as your niche. Your true niche is you just offer reputation management. My niche is helping people get their brand where it needs to be, whether they've made mistakes, they've had employees that have just done horrible things, right? Or they're brand new and they don't know where to start to build their brand. I help people build their brand, maintain their brand, and expand their brand with the power of reviews and ratings. Because you and I both know people love reviews and ratings. It's the word of mouth. I don't buy nothing on Amazon without at least looking at 2 reviews. And I sure don't go to a barbershop or a chiropractor or anywhere unless I see that they have some reviews. I don't want to be the test dummy here, right? So I know I'm not the only one that thinks like that, but a majority do. So that being said, let's get into this part here, which is, by now you've read this a few times here because the slide's been there, so no need to repeat that, right? Right, so here's what I want you to keep in mind. When you find somebody online, you want to take that online interaction into messages, and then you want to get personal with them by either them jumping on a Zoom meeting with you, attending your event, talking to you on the phone. Like, you want to know this person's a human being that you could relate to, and unless they hear you or see you, there's no connection, right? Because in a world of bots, I'm telling you, the AI has tricked me a few times. I want to make sure if I'm investing time to help somebody and guide them, that they are a real person, right? Because look, I'm not doing this for charity, y'all, and neither are you. I'm here to give value, to earn business, and grow others while I grow myself. So building the pipeline is important, having the end in mind. I meet you online in a Facebook group. I comment, I like, I show support. Maybe I share your post. You're in the top of funnel. You're in my top of funnel. You then message me or I message you at some point. You are now in my middle of funnel. We jump on the phone. You attend my event. You refer me somebody. You become an advocate, a supporter of mine. Every time I post something, you comment, you share, you co-sign, right? You're at the middle to last part of my funnel. We do business, or we do some sort of joint venture or collaboration. You jump on my podcast, I jump on yours, right? You're right there. You don't need to buy from me to work with you, because you may give me more referrals and never be my customer. So social media is just like everything else. The person you're working with does not have to be your customer. And here's what I'll say. And I'm going to say this because every time I see or hear it, it bothers me. We are not competitors, right? All of y'all that are on this meeting right now with me, we're not competitors. We're not. Like, we could be in the same room together. People are going to come to me or they're going to go to you because of you or me, not because of what we offer, right? So we're not competitors. It is okay to meet and talk to other marketers. It is okay to share insight and give value to other marketers. Do not get defensive offended or bothered if somebody sneaks in who's a marketer into your webinar or they sneak into your email list to find out what you're doing. Use it as a compliment. They are looking up to you for what they should be doing differently or more of. They're not your competitor, right? Your competitor is the $100 million company that has unlimited budget and they're taking your local customers from you without even showing up in person. That's your competitor, not the other marketer up the block. They're not your competitor, right? It's the one that's selling a program for 200 bucks, 300 bucks, 1,000 bucks a month, and they're from somewhere outside of the area and they're not delivering their service. That's a competitor. You're the local hero. You're the local hero. What does that mean, John? Because I'm local or I'm familiar with the local area. Again, I live in Florida, visit New Jersey, right? Family in New Jersey, go to parties in New Jersey, holidays in New Jersey. I live in Florida. I got double local. I got double local, right? And because I may be in Orlando doesn't mean that I can't go to Tampa and be local there too, because I know everything in that area about Tampa too. I know the good restaurants. I know people. I have friends there, right? So you don't need to say, hey, here's my address. I'm local. No, I'm familiar. I'm from. I used to be. I'm human. I'm real. I'm not a huge company that's trying to take your money and run. I'm local because I'm part of networking groups. I'm here to help you. Y'all understand my I want to bring this home here because, look, look what I got here. I'm going to show you what I got here, right? Because you can learn this on your own, folks. You do not need me to teach you how to sell. Y'all with me on that? You do not need me to teach you how to sell. You need me to just share some experiences and best practices because you may not be doing them. Because, like, this book could teach you how to sell, right? This book could teach you how to sell. This book could teach you how to sell. This book could teach you how to make a sales team. This book could teach you how to deal with objections and sell. This book could teach you how to do sales meetings. This book could teach you how to have mindset and mind power to do sales. This book could teach you something. And this book could teach you something too. So you don't need me to teach you that. All I'm saying to you is that all these books have one thing in common. They're on paper. And they were written from experience. And you have to take it to the marketplace, right? Because if you don't take the knowledge that I'm touching here, that you've read in one of these books, if not all of them, you're never going to fill up your pipeline and your funnel. And that's the goal. So if you're with me on this, let me know below. Because now we're going to get into some ways to find these people, right? Action. Listen, look. Action is key. I see you, Chris. I see you, Natalie. Derek, I'm with you. Jean-Claude, I'm with you. Anna, I'm with you. Dwight, Chris, David, Hofel, Eddie, ladies and gents, I'm with you. I get it. Pedro, right? Like, we got all different areas in the building here. Books ain't the problem. Podcast, don't make me pull out the podcast game. Don't make me pull out the Audible game. Don't make me pull out the YouTube videos that I save and I pay a subscription for that download feature. That means nothing without action. So here's what I'm going to say to you, right? I'm going to throw a challenge out there. And, last week, if you didn't tune in to my guest, Frank Kern, gentleman needs no introduction. Only introduction he would need is if you're new to marketing, right? Because if you're new to marketing, you don't know what you don't know. But we got a surprise with some other great events coming up. But he put out a challenge. He says, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you the example. Let me just show you the example, right? But here's the challenge. I'm gonna let this know in case one of you or all of you or some of you pop offline here. The example I'm gonna show you, I want you, right? If you want to accept the challenge, send that same style message to 15 people. Some that you know, some that you don't, but make sure it's local. And I'll show you what I mean here. I gotta put these books down before my stand-up desk falls apart. It brought the whole, I mean, brought close to half the bookshelf, but the comments got me pumped up here. And I just want to make sure y'all know I'm not trying to teach you sales 101 here. This is beyond. I'm not the guy to do that. Right. So let's get to here review websites. So review websites leave clues, but they also build credibility and authority. Here's what I mean by that. If you are going after contractors and you don't know Angie's List, you don't know Home Advisor, you don't know Yelp, and you don't know House, to name a few, you are going to get called out because they're going to say, oh, I'm on Angie's List. Oh, what's that? Wrong answer. Oh, great. What's your star ratings on Angie's List? Do you buy leads or do you just have it for awareness? How's that working out for you? Right? Home Advisor. If you don't know that Home Advisors and Angie's List are owned by the same company, because they're going to ask you or they're going to allude to something, like you need to relate to them. Like, yeah, I'm aware. Are you also on Angie's List? Like, how do you go about buying your leads? How do you determine, right? Who are the best customers for you? Oh, I don't buy leads. I'm just on. Okay, great. How's your star rating? Right? Asking prescriptive good questions around their reputation is always important. And you'll find your flow. Yelp. Some people say, I love Yelp. Some people say, oh, get away from me. That place is, they have opinions. People have opinions. But you got to be aware, right? You got to be aware. Real estate, right? If you don't know about Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, Yelp, like if you don't know that real estate agents use some of these and there's many more, then they're gonna say, hey man, are you new to this? I'm good, man. I can actually teach you more things than you know. Hey, join my mastermind. Like they'll end up selling you something without even realizing. So just make sure you are aware of who you're talking to and what's in their domain. Healthcare, right? Med spas, doctors, chiropractors, therapists, right? They have so many sites for this particular category that I just put a few of the main ones, right? And again, they're main in my area, but they may not be main where you're at, right? But just be aware. Restaurants, Yelp, right? Whether they love it or not. But where does TripAdvisor fall in? Well, have you ever gone on a vacation and maybe you search for something? TripAdvisor shows up a lot. Well, that's why you got to keep that in mind. Because people travel in the country and out of the country. And since they're not from the area, they're looking for something that's popular in that area. And TripAdvisor has the authority, and along many others, that say, I could trust what's on there because I'm not from the area. Google reviews, Zomato, handful of sites. Med spas, right? Again, this is all available in the course. I'm just going through it briefly, right? But you could go at this at your own pace. You could rewind it and so on and so forth, right? But the reason why Google is Google because we use it as a verb, we use it as an adjective, we use it as a noun, we use it as everything. We use it as praise, we use it as a curse word, we use it as a threatening matter. I'm going to Google you. Let me do a Google search. Oh my gosh, you're on Google. Like this whole Google thing really took a it's got wings. You know? So just know that, right? And some people they get a little offended, like, oh, you need to be on Google, you're not on Google. Okay, well, I'm good. So make sure your tonality is more strategic, helpful, kind, understanding than you need to do this right now. You're not on, you need Google. Huh? So important that you tread lightly. Because if you trigger them off, you're done. You know? And it's because it's got high trust factor. It's got detailed insights, right? So just keep that in mind. And high level integrates, right? I don't want to get into the product stuff, but this stuff, these points come up in questions when you're talking sales and you're talking next steps. So we've baked in AI in different parts of the platform, specifically reputation management. So you connect your reputation management, reviews go out automatically, requests can go out automatically, they can be responded to automatically. You got to set the settings up. You push the buttons, pull the lever, how you want it to work. Right? Woof! We went over a lot. We went over a lot, y'all. Thank you. Thank you for just listening. Thank you for, sharing your conversation. Thank you for, right, being in it to win it with me here. Right? And I'm on YouTube here. We got a handful of y'all that have just poured out. Kyle, Linda, Javad, Kim. Thank you. Right? I know we're all running businesses, we're running time, we're in between, but if you're listening here, I appreciate you. Right? And if you're sharing also value, I appreciate you too. Right? Thank you for the support. Right? So handful of you said it. We need action. Got to take action. You're right. Action, action, action. Right? Like you got to so here's the call to action. You're going to get your account set up. You're going to jump on that Speak With Us link to get help. Just ask a question that you know the answer to. Just go in one time. It's okay if you know the answer to the question. I just want you to see the experience because here's what's going to happen. I'm just going to call it straight up. Straight up. You're going to get really good at this. You're going to have 1 customer, 2 customer, 3 customer, 4, 5 customer, 10 customers. Oh my, there's more. John, I don't have VAs. I don't have a team. How can high level help me? Well, jump on here, jump on there. Here's this here. You got to get familiar with this stuff now. Because what if you are at a franchise event, somebody who knows you, likes you, trusts you, says, hey man, I'm brand new at this, right? I got 15 locations right now. We're about to launch another 5 locations. I know we need this. Could you help me? Sure. You don't want to look like that. You're in shock. What good is it? You lost credibility. Absolutely, man. As a matter of fact, I got a plan for this. Here's what you could expect. Support, consistency, and me returning your phone calls. Let's talk further, but tell me about your business. I just came here randomly. I didn't expect to even meet anybody. I was just curious. I have a handful of clients from time to time. They'll ask me advice on buying a franchise or business-related franchise stuff. Got a few clients that have small franchises. My experience is in so-and-so, and I like learning. Oh, man, great. And now you have a good conversation. But now imagine you know nothing about what you're selling at all. You don't know where to get help. You don't know anything. You're going to be frustrated. So get familiar with this stuff early while you're on the trial and know that it's not going to happen overnight. Right? It's not going to happen overnight. So SEO, local rankings, there's a whole lot of opinions, theories, best practices, checklists, requirements. At the end of the day, just having reviews is not going to do it all for anything. Having reviews is a byproduct, a combination, a support of overall. If you have a good amount of everything working well, things will work well. Understanding the concept, the strategy, the framework, yes, that helps. Right? It's like when I used to go to school, right? I never, put my name on the sheet sometimes. I was just a rebel with it. So I lost 5 points. I could have had an extra 5 points every quiz if I just wrote my name on the sheet or if I just wrote the date. But no, I wanted to rush through the test, to get out early. So I lost 5 points. Know the playbook, know the process, know the minimum requirements. And reviews is a requirement. So as you start to understand this, you understand how to fit the pieces to the puzzle, right? And customer engagement is key. So responding to reviews is another element that's part of SEO. That's part of growth. If you don't respond to reviews, you're not going to get full credit, right? We help with that. Your platform does it. Your platform does this. Your white label version does this. Analytics and reporting, yes, we need that. We need to know who's coming in and what do we do with the data. We need to send out surveys. Your platform does this, right? So with so much that I've gone over so far, I want to just speed through something here before we get into some additional details. And I want to make sure I'm including this before we get into some Q&A. Right? Okay, so in most cases, well, let me rephrase that. You may be doing online, so it's a little bit more of a formal demo process, right? Where you have the Zoom meeting and you're sharing your screen, right? In person, you may be using your phone and doing a demo from your phone. You may be doing a demo from your tablet. You may be doing a demo from the computer. Here's what I will say through experience of demoing. Simple is better. Here's why. Remember what got your foot in the door. Brand awareness, reputation. Don't start showing the 500 plus features and then your strategy and then your superpowers that come along with it. Don't do that because they're not going to buy from you. They're going to tune out. It's like me today throwing the frequent, let me do it right here. Hey guys, thank you for joining our training today. We're going to cut it short. And instead, I'm going to give you everything you need to know. And that is right here. We have thousands of pages of high-level support information for you. Thousands of videos and pages for you. Go ahead, have a great time. You're probably going to be like, holy smokes, this is a whole lot. I don't got time for this. Do you have the Cliff Notes? Do you have, a few bullet points you could share with me, John? I don't need to know about all this. I just want to know, how can this help me doing this? No, don't worry about it. There's all these features that can help you. Oh, look, we even have roll-up reporting. Exciting, huh? Oh, I even have tons of playbooks for you. Keep going. There's more. You're going to be like, all right, man, you don't know what the heck you're talking about. This isn't for me. Thank you, click, or exit Zoom meeting. Even though I gave you the manual to high level and everything that is at the fingertips, it's not enough for you because you want what you want and what you're asking for, right? So if we're talking and we're talking about reputation, and I hit a nerve, and you're like, yeah, man, I need help. I got bad reviews. This is hurting my business. Stick to that. So hey, look, what's really nice about this so-and-so is that you could actually load up your app on your phone. And let's say, well, I got a quick question for you. How do you collect payments now? Like if I want to buy something from you, how do you collect payments now? Oh, you use paper and pen. Okay, that's fine. Um, After you do paper and pen, where do you put that information? In your binder. Okay. How are you with like what kind of cell phone do you have? Android, iPhone? Okay. Flip phone. All right. So there's a little bit of a process here, but I'm willing to help you and show you. Are you comfortable with adopting and just starting to learn a little bit on how to take this from either your phone, your computer, or however you do anything with technology? Like before we get into all this happy-go-lucky information, you need to qualify them that they're going to even be interested or be open to do this because here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to have to do it for them all the time. Because here's what's missing. If they're doing everything on paper, there's no database. It's not going anywhere. Unless it's going into QuickBooks. You got to determine this, right? You got to set time to show them how to use it, right? And that's fine. If you have the patience and the interest, that's fine. What I'm saying to you is that there's some fundamentals that you should ask to know. Do they have a database? Great. What do they use? How do they collect payments? Perfect, because here's what happens. In order to ask for a review, you have to have a transaction. So if you're a plumber, a groomer, a nail artist, hair artist, whatever you do, tattoo artist, painter, doesn't matter. We have to exchange, right? How we collect payment is then how we move forward. So as you find that out, maybe they say Square, maybe they say um, QuickBooks, maybe they say Zelle, whatever it is. Perfect. Where do you put the information that you collect from that person? Oh, I use QuickBooks. Okay, perfect. Or I use my phone. Okay, great. Or Square. Okay, great. Here's the good news. We connect right with that. We're going to connect right with it together. So the information is going to connect. Now, once we do that, you're going to use the app I'm going to set you up on, and we're going to have some other things we're going to set up on your behalf, but you need to collect these three pieces of information: their name, their phone number, and their email. Because here's what's going to happen. If you keep on our automated process, it's going to, after so-and-so settings, it's going to send a review request through email. If there's no response, it's then going to send a text request. If no response, a few days later, it's going to send another one. And there's a whole process, and I'll walk you through it once we get you started. But this is what it looks like. Let me send you an example. You go into your phone, you ask them for their name, for their email, and for their phone number. You put it in your database, in your high level. On the bottom, you click the review, you click on the top left of your app. If you don't have the app, let me rewind here. If you don't have the app, you got to go to Lead Connector on Android or the Google Store. First and foremost, you need the app, right? Go to the app after you've put them in as a contact. You hit the reputation button, right? Hit the reputation button. You show them, like, take a look at this here. You hit the plus sign and you say, look, this is what it's going to show up as, right? You pick the contact and you hit send. Send SMS review request. Hey, did you get that? What do you think? Click the link. Go ahead and click it. Now they click it, they see it. Okay? I'm going to send you an email now. Now keep in mind, the way I'm going to set this up, it's very smooth and respectful. And it's designed to nudge kindly because people are busy. If they weren't busy, you'd be doing this a long time ago. Here's what the email looks like. Take a look at this. You show them. What are your thoughts on that? For my techie folks, my experienced folks, the folks that have been doing this for some time, you probably do it totally different. Or maybe you do it the same way. But you want to keep it simple from the app because the app won't fail on you. Here's what'll fail on you. This has happened. The laptop comes out. What's your Wi-Fi password? Huh. Did it change? Wi-Fi doesn't work. Let me connect my hotspot. That's not. It's the area, right? Figured. All right. So normally, that's not a good way to start. It's not a good way to start. Or How many of y'all have like your iMessages on your phone, like, your wife or your husband is like just chatting away, bing, 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 like they're looking at your screen, like it's a little awkward. But here's the thing, and here's where I want you to keep in mind, right? There's a million things that can happen while you're on your laptop. But here's one thing I want you to keep in mind. This business owner or somebody you're talking to is not going to be on their computer all day. They're going to be at the front desk doing hair, tattooing, whatever they're doing. They're going to be on the phone. So show them on the phone and say, hey, look, I'm going to send you also a bunch of other things this does. And as we get this part going and we start building your reviews, we can start to trickle other things. But here's what we'll add automatically without you even realizing. We're going to give you a way that when your QuickBooks gets a customer processed or your Square, it goes into so and so Super Reviews platform, which is, let's say that's your platform name, Super Reviews. You'll get a notification on the Super Reviews app called Lead Connector because we're connecting you with leads and reputation, all this stuff, right? And you'll know new contacts come in, and I'll show you how to see all your new contacts that are coming in from here. I'll show you. And as you do that, you'll get more curious of what we have to offer. But what's nice is that once we get this up and running, we can start your newsletter. We can start your social media management. We could start your SEO. We could build you a new website. Like this thing is jam-packed with more than I can go over. More than I can go over. So you just got the email. Let me know if that popped up for you. Pretty cool, right? Yeah. Question for you. What do you think something like this goes for? What do you think something like this will go for? And to be transparent, the prices are set. My stuff is transparent. It's online. I just got one price. I keep it simple. I promise you, I'll show you where it's at. Right? Okay. So you'd be okay with spending between 300 to 400 bucks a month for this? Okay. It's fair. No, we didn't have a price increase. What I offer is similar to what other companies offer at that price point. I've priced it because I'm local. I've priced it because I have a lot of customers that call me for this specific service, and I have a proven process that keeps it going smooth for everybody. So it's very little, like, right, very little human, like, manpower that's needed. And it'll be like that for you too. 197 per month. It's month to month, right? Or 197 per month, 3-month minimum. Typically 3 months is what you need to see the results. Like, and granted, you can get 5 reviews tomorrow, and we're not going to charge you per review. You can get 50 reviews by Friday. We're not going to charge you there's a flat fee. Flat fee, right? 197 per month. We set everything up. We give you about, 8 hours or so of us like getting you set up, answering questions, all those things. We give you an area to go for, any questions you have. We do weekly webinars. You could jump on our webinars. We send out a newsletter. We have a podcast. We have a bunch of information to keep you up to snuff on everything. All we ask is that you make sure your Square is connected. You keep doing a great job with your customers, and you take a look at your Lead Connector app to make sure everything is always working. And we'll do the same too, but I want you to be active in it because once you see it happen, you can't unsee it. And as again, you're not hearing like the other person talk of it. Like I'm just trying to go back and forth here and as a scenario. But here's what I want you to keep in mind. It relates to them. They don't want nothing clunky. They don't want to have to carry a huge laptop on the side. They don't want to have to learn and go through a whole bunch of training and FAQs. They just want one thing. They want more reputation, more reviews, and more customers. Give them what they want. Don't try to talk them into everything else. Give them what they want. The people want reviews. Give them reviews. Any questions? Any questions on this so far? Right? And then here's what you do. I'm ready if you are. Here's what the next step looks like. Today, I'll use the same platform that you'll be using. I'll collect your payment. We'll tap. I'll set up your onboarding call. We have to do it within the next 3 days. We could even do it today if you want, or tomorrow, up to you. We're then going to get your contact list. We're going to connect everything up, and we're going to start sending your first set of reviews requests today or tomorrow. But they have to be done within the 72 hours. And then we're going to drip it, and then we're going to catch up. That'll put a handful of new reviews. We're going to set it up to automatically respond to you, for you. And then we're going to start the new customers that come in and just keep the cycle going. You'll have you at all times on here. After that, I'm going to ask you if there's three people that you want to help out. And out of those three people that you want to help out, I'm going to offer them, as a courtesy to you, a 30-day trial of the platform. And if they sign up before the 30 days are over, I will give you a $25 credit for the next month, or I'll give you a $50 gift. Whatever you want to give, you give. Right? But stick to your buddy program, stick to your referral program. Put it on paper, create a Canva flyer, do something. Let it be tangible, let it be official. Make it part of your follow-up. 3 people, they're going to get a 30-day trial because of you. Same thing I would do with you, I'll do with them. And not only do you get to help them, maybe you played a big part in them growing their business. Now you're getting referrals, 3 referrals. Now you have 3 business owner friends that are in the making. Do that with every sale. You'll have 6 to 10 to 15 to 30 referrals. You could then say you're a referral-only business. And that's without you doing ads or anything else. Maybe this is for you, maybe it's not. But I'm giving you everything. Everything you need at the most simplistic level. And I'll leave it up to you as you evolve to make it more complicated. But the demo is on the phone. Right? And you could do the demo on the phone on a Zoom too. Like, don't go crazy sharing your whole screen or flipping over your computer and showing your 13 screens lined up like a 911 dispatch center. Right? Or like a sports bar. Don't show them your setup because your setup will scare them. Oh my gosh, this is too complicated. I'm not going to buy 13 screens this is not for me. I'm not techie. Keep it simple. Right? And tell a story. Look, my neighbor, they have a dog grooming. They're not techie. They're just great, delicate, amazing dog groomers. They use it. It's right on the phone. I love it, John. Let's do it. You're a nice guy. Done. Right? So, there is a bunch of slides we did not go over, and we do not have time. But here's what I'll say to you. Everything that I've shared with you is not in the course. All of this chatter, this me, you, one-to-one is not in the course. So I got to go back and I got to transcribe this and somehow get it in the course. But it's not in the course. What's in the course is everything I didn't go over. So if you're not in the course yet, you got to get in the course. Jordan, you're probably asking, John's going over time here. Does he know what time it is? I got it, brother. Could you have the team pull a winner? Right? Pull a winner. Look for a winner, please, because this is going to be a tough one. But if we can, let's pull a winner. And I'll throw the chime in a minute here to announce it. But so let's do this here. Based on what you've learned so far, if you've had a chance to hang out with me, up to now, thank you. If you jumped in halfway, thank you. And you stood till now, thank you. We got a winner in the chat below. Take a look. Awesome. Congrats. Congrats. We got more coming, y'all. We got more coming. Go ahead in the chat below. One being, this was a waste of my time. Never again. And listen, there's always a few. I get it. 1 is a waste of time. Never again. 3 is, all right. I learned something new. Is all right. I get it. Not for me, but I get it. 5 is good stuff. Great job. Right? You'd forward this to somebody. You'd say, hey, man, take a look at this video that this guy JB put together. You're going to find something valuable. So 1 meaning don't quit your day job. 3 meaning, okay, but not quite there. And 5 meaning you might got something in the making. I found value in it. I appreciate it. I might use a thing or two, but I didn't block you on Facebook and I didn't log out here. Right? Because that just helps me to understand if my rant, my off the rail, because my phone's probably blown up here. The team behind the scenes is probably saying, what is going on? But look, I just got to switch it up a little bit. Switch it up a little bit for y'all, because the feedback and what we got here was great. Awesome, 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 awesome. Thank you all for the feedback. Appreciate it, appreciate it. For all that you are tuned in, man, make sure you get in that Facebook groups chat ASAP. We got the conversation continuing there. What else? Throw your question below. If you have a question, once I get off on here, I'm going to scroll up through the comments. I'm going to just copy all, and I'm going to throw it in a Word doc, and I'm going to get to it. And then I'm going to throw those answers in the group, in the Facebook group. So if you're not in the Facebook group, get in there. And I'll have everyone's answers to those questions in there as well. All right, y'all. We're at time. We are at time. Thank you so much. Tomorrow is fulfillment. Friday is onboarding. And we got more to go. Y'all been great. See you tomorrow. And keep at it. This is exactly what you need, and this is exactly for you.